I just went for it and hoped for the best and never once questioned myself throughout the entire process until the night before is when I questioned myself, what am I doing? Did I do this? Did I think this through correct? That's when I just questioned myself and I was just a wreck.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking entrepreneurship and really lessons from a great startup. So Geraldine Schumacher, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So I just want to acknowledge, right? Founder and CEO of Holy Matcha, the first matcha cafe in San Diego. Is there another now?
And second. I have a second child.
Okay, you have we're definitely going to talk about business and babies, or businesses that are babies. So first of all, welcome. But I want to start by asking you, because I just kind of doing my research, how in the world does an accountant go from accounting to I'm going to become an entrepreneur and start a matcha cafe in San Diego? Please give us the backstory.
That's the billion-dollar question of last century and this century as well.
Yes.
I never dreamt of owning a business. Mm-hmm. Wasn't a dream, wasn't a goal. Mm-hmm. I just knew I had to go to college, get a job, work, make money, reproduce, yada, yada. Yeah. And it was until I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do, and I hit that millennial problem where I don't like my life. I don't like what I'm doing. Is this going to be me for the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. Yada, yada, did the complaining.
Sure.
But I had been drinking matcha since I was in college, since I was 21. So it's fair to say now, people are going to now know I've been drinking matcha for 10 years now.
You are the matcha queen, is what I hear. Yes.
And so what annoyed me, so everything with me starts from an annoyance. Mm-hmm. It's not, I wish it could come from a dream or like, I want to do this. But I was annoyed because San Diego is plagued with coffee shops, amazing coffee shops, breweries, bars, restaurants, you name it, we probably have it. Yeah. They care a lot about making coffee when you order it and whatnot, but there's no matcha. Yeah. Nobody cares. I mean, I'm putting words in their mouth where nobody cares, but maybe there's just no interest. And so I thought, here I am struggling, going to coffee shops for the ambiance, for the music, for meetings, connections, inspiration, get out of my little box. Yep. But I need to request water and I prep my matcha right there. Yeah. This is impossible. This can't be. Yes. And then the question popped in my brain. Oh my goodness, what if I do a matcha cafe? Mm-hmm. So I saw that hole in the market. I'm just going to do it. It was that easy. That's how, I mean.
Okay, like the origin thought is always that easy, but starting a business isn't that easy.
The thought was easy. I think a lot of things. Yes. So the thought was easy. In the moment, I had no idea what I had to do or the entire tsunami I had to surf. Yes. Until I was going step by step. But I guess you can say innocence is bliss because I didn't know how tough it would be. So every single hurdle I was taking was like, okay, this is it, until I got another one. Okay, this is it. Yes. But it all started from an annoyance and me being upset that there wasn't, proper matcha available. And I was just like, you know what, screw this. I'll just do it myself.
Do you know that's how Walt Disney started his company?
I heard.
Yeah, same thing. He said took his daughter to an amusement park and basically going around on the little merry-go-round, she was on a horse that didn't jump and had chip paint. And he said, what would it be like to have a park where all the horses jumped and there was no chip paint? And that was the origin story of then what became Disney.
I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, right? So I mean, it's a very classic entrepreneurial mindset. Here's a problem, I want to solve it. And so many of us when we start, we really don't know what we're doing. Like the metaphors, we take our hat off, we throw it over a fence, and we know if we don't go over that fence and get it, our parents are going to be really upset. So we figure out a way to get over the fence. So I want to talk about, first of all, what is matcha for the people that have no idea what we're talking about?
Matcha is powdered green tea.
Okay, so powdered
green tea.
Literally
powdered green tea.
Origin though, Japanese or?
Well, if you want me to get a little nerdy,
matcha
started in China.
Okay.
It originated in China. Then a Buddhist monk went to China and said, you know what? I'm going to take this back to my country, Japan, and I'm going to do it my way. So we make matcha the Japanese way.
Got it.
And
how is that different from the Chinese way?
The Chinese way, I think they steep the leaves in the hot water and then they drink it, where the Japanese way is they grind the leaves, stone mill, ground, and then you mix that with hot water, but you have to whisk it.
Got it.
Turn it into a froth, and then you sip it.
Got it. Is there a better way, or is it like, do you do both in your cafes?
Oh, no. Straight Japanese.
Straight Japanese only.
Straight
Okay.
Japanese.
Sorry, Chinese. Sorry. No matcha. No matcha for you.
Very careful.
Yes.
I'm very, very careful with that.
Yes.
No, but we do the Japanese way, which is now popular now for matcha.
I love it. So obviously, just talking, entrepreneurship here, you've got 2 locations now, you've got 6 employees, you've got a growing social, following, you've got articles in Forbes. But take us back to the very beginning, like that moment of, okay, I'm starting. Like, what did you start with first? Did you come up with like a product idea first? Or did you like, we need to go lease our space? How are we going to charge the money? What about branding? What about marketing? What about trademark? What about all that stuff? How did you work through it all?
I sat in a very quiet place in my parents' backyard, which is where I got the idea, where the idea was birthed. And I think the first hour, once I thought of doing the matcha cafe, I thought it has to be called Holy Matcha. I knew it had to have matcha in it.
Yeah.
Holy, because I say holy shit a lot of times. People know how to spell it. HOLY. It's 4-letter words, not difficult. And when I started talking to people and they were like, that sounds so weird. Why would you call it holy? Weirdness sticks.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to,
yes.
I wanted to stick out like a sore thumb. Where
Average
usually,
doesn't.
Right. And so I thought like this was my survival mechanism. But in the moment, now that I look back, I wasn't aware that unconsciously I was freaking out inside, but I didn't want to show it. So I had to go turbo mode of Holy Matcha. I love pink. Make it pink. The pink correlates very beautiful with the green. Should I go for sole proprietor? Did research? No, actually, that's really bad. Even though it's cheaper, that's not good for me.
Yep.
So I went for LLC at the moment and, just started Googling. Honestly, I Googled everything. I was petrified to ask someone for advice, as I thought.
Why?
Because I thought, why would they, give me the time of day? Just go up to someone like, hi, can you please help me for this? I'm not.
Should I have an LLC or an S Corp?
I'm not one, and it goes to the way I was raised. I'm not one to ask for help, and it's not a pride thing. It's just all I've known my entire life. If you want something, you figure out, you make it, you get it. Don't ask for it. So only thing I asked for was I went down to the health department, I went down to the city and just asked them like, okay, I want to start a cafe. What do I need? You need a business tax license. You need a seller's permit. You need a this and this. And I was writing it down. Okay, and how can I go about it? Ma'am, you go on the website. I pay a lot of taxes. Can you please help me out? Like, give me a break. Like, it's just me.
Yeah.
So I would push and push. And I think that built a lot of resilience and grit.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not like I woke up one day being like, I'm going to go all in, and it was just my survival of getting rejections or not knowing what to do. I had to figure it out. So a lot changed because the idea was birthed in August 2016, and I opened my first location in March 2017. So it went by really quick.
Yeah. Now, were you still working as an accountant during this time?
I quit my job mid-October once things started getting too heavy and I needed to be at the construction site. And Geraldine, this and this, Geraldine, this and this, Geraldine, we need this permit, Geraldine.
I was going to ask you, tell me about your first lease agreement.
It was a lot of fun. I negotiated, and I still think I could have negotiated that better now that I have experience. It went really well. I'm a firm believer that you never take the first offer. Everything's negotiable with numbers and whatnot. You want to triple check, get your receipts. It was very, very well.
That was the accountant coming out of you right there, by the way.
Naturally, it was. You have to make sure what's on the left balances on the right. Yes. I mean, it's just, for me, it's common sense, but yes, I guess it's my background. It was a lot of fun. It was my first contractor agreement. That was the first slap in the face because I got dumped on December 1st, 2017. I am scarred. It was a little bit before 5 a.m. And like I said, and I don't even think one needs to have an accounting background. I think it's just common sense where someone says, this is $7 and it's going to take me this much time. Okay, can you show me the receipts of, where you back up that number?
Yeah.
And when I asked the contractor, when he gave me his huge number, okay, can I see the breakdown?
Yeah. I'd like an itemized breakdown of your work and, hours and product.
Because maybe instead of using fancy 4x4s, maybe can you give me another option? I've been to Home Depot. I know there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
And so he didn't like that. So the next day he emailed me in the morning. Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I had his email saying that my business wasn't going to succeed. This was a failure. He's too busy. He has $1 million projects already lined up. This is never going to work out. This is just a stupid little dream, yada, yada. He had my health plans. He still had some plans of mine. He's like, let me know when we can meet on site so I can give you your plans. I'm really busy. Yeah. So I was crying and crying and crying and crying. And a little moment where I am now comfortable sharing is I accepted his offer right there and then because I was freaking out. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry for asking for an itemized receipt, whatever it is, I want to do business with you. Let's just move forward. He still rejected me. And so I felt like a complete failure because it's like, what am I supposed to do now? Yeah. So I sent my now husband, then boyfriend, to the shop because I couldn't bear the thought of seeing him because then my inner Mexican was going to come out and I wanted to kill him. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So now I'll just go to his face and just thank you and goodbye. Now I don't care. But back then I just felt so bad. I had never been in a situation like that. So my boyfriend went, he got the plans. And while he was doing that, I'm at home Googling contractors. Later that afternoon, 3 or 4 p.m., got a meeting with the contractor, jumped on the phone, met with him the next day, signed a contract with him the next day.
So,
Funny thing about it is that the actual contractor I went with was even more expensive than the first one.
Interesting. I was thinking of how many times I've dealt with builders and contractors, or, whether it's like in a building like this or, building a house. And when you ask that question and they don't have the answer or they're frustrated by it, I think everyone listening, their probably natural inclination is, oh, he was totally taking advantage of her. He was really overcharging her or, like that. It's a safe assumption, right?
I was pressed on time, but then when they presented their contract to me, it had a breakdown of all the prices and they just made me, I was like, okay, this is a lot more than what I expected, but I appreciated the breakdown. Yes. And I needed to move because time is money for me, so I needed to move fast. And it had a project. It was just very well formulated. And I said, okay, I'm so happy. I'm going at this again. Yeah. Let's move. And we moved beautifully.
So let's talk about 2 more things in the opening before we actually get to the opening. What about the actual creation of the product? And then who financed this whole thing? Did you raise money from outside, like friends and family? Did you do outside capital? Did you refinance your house? What did you do?
Right. So the matcha goes back a long way because my boyfriend's college roommate was from Japan. And when he got married, he invited us to his wedding in Tokyo.
Love it.
And so, of course, I have to go. I wasn't invited, but I was like, I have to go. Yes. I love tea. Yeah. That's where I fell in love, not just with the tea itself, but also got much more appreciation for the culture.
Yes.
And loved everything about that city. And went to a traditional tea ceremony, loved everything, got the grower's number so I can WhatsApp him because San Diego didn't have any of this type of matcha. And so that's where I had my connection.
Got it.
Which was easy because I kept on buying from him directly, PayPaling him and whatnot. So once I wanted to start the business, I had to go back to Japan and meet with him face to face because the way Japanese do business, it's not so much like, here's $1 million, give me something. Yeah. There's a lot of respect.
Yes.
You come to him and you come bearing gifts. You meet face to face. And so.
How did you learn all that?
Well, my culture, I'm Mexican, so in my culture, it's a little bit like that. It's very important when you meet face to face and you bring a gift. When you meet with a family members or in-laws, so it's important. But the Japanese, I did a lot of research. Yeah, I do research before I go in.
Smart.
Because I care. If I don't care, I won't do research. But if I care, I will do my research. Yeah. And so when I went over there, I told him, kindly asked. He stayed quiet, and I was like, oh my God, what is he thinking? He said, okay. He asked me how many kilo bags I would need. He gave me a number. I was like, okay, I will take this number. I will email you and let you know if it works for me. Because then I had to go back and get all my finances in line. So the way I was able to finance it was I poured in all of my savings and I got a small SBA loan.
Good for you.
So it was the best thing I could do in that moment. That's why I was crazy budgeting. That's why with my first contractor, I wanted that itemized list, because where are you getting this number from? Like, can wood really be that expensive? How much is wood? So I had to budget everything. I had to, like, okay, maybe we need to cut corner here. Maybe we need to cut a corner over here, but I can't cut corners on the actual product.
Yeah.
So that's where my accounting background really did help. But then I felt a lot of pressure to open as soon as possible, because I don't like loans.
Well, you're carrying debt and you're burning money.
I need to open.
Yep.
And so I opened a month late.
Okay, before we get to the opening, though, so a good friend of mine started a company called Nectar Juice. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Like 150 locations. He's actually going to be on my podcast next week. So I have some insight on what it takes to create and package a product like this. Did you know all about this before? You knew about the tea.
I just launched this in November.
Okay, so but in the cafe, is it done the traditional way? Hot water? Okay, so that's different. So I'll hold off on this. Let's go back to the opening then. So the night before the opening,
I was a mess.
Yeah. Why?
I was freaking out.
You weren't just excited, like I want to spend the night there and just wake up and let's go? No. And did you do any pre-marketing?
I started the Instagram in September 2016, but that was just because I knew Instagram and I liked Instagram personally. Yeah. But the Facebook, the Twitter and all that, I didn't have any of that. I was just posting pretty things on Instagram and because I like Instagram. But
the neighborhood, right? They had nobody knew. I mean, they were watching construction and then a sign went up.
They just saw a pink building going up. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a I was being very quiet.
Okay. Intentionally?
Yeah. Just very quiet because I was very shy. Okay. I was very shy. That neighborhood, I was new to it. It was in North Park, and I was new to it. I didn't know anybody, so I was like, "Hi, what is this gonna be? Oh, it's a matcha cafe. What's matcha? Green tea." Yeah. So yeah, I was very quiet. I'm a very quiet person. So 3 years ago, I would not have been able to do this podcast. Yeah. Because I was so embarrassed to speak English because it's my second language, and so I was very in my shell. Sure. It was until the opening that I had no other option but to get out of that shell. Yeah.
The alter ego shows up again. Yes, a friend of mine wrote a book called The Alter Ego. Sometimes. Yes. Okay, so opening day, what was it like?
I blacked out.
Really? Too much tea?
I don't remember opening day. I remember the night before I was crying. Yeah. The night before was when everything was ready to go. Everything was beautiful. Yeah. I was just, all my doubts and insecurities that I kept in for 6.5 months finally came out the night before. Yes. It was just a lot of crying. Did I do the right thing? Did I price this out correctly? Oh my God, is this right? I was just because I love something so much does not mean it's going to work out. What if I invested all this money into it? What if it doesn't work? I was just No one
told you about product market fit and all that stuff? No.
I just went for it and hoped for the best and never once questioned myself throughout the entire process until the night before is when I questioned myself. What am I doing? Did I do this? Did I think this through correct? That's when I just questioned myself and I was just a wreck.
Yeah. Did you sleep?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the doors open. Who was the first customer?
I don't remember. I had a line down the block.
Really?
It curved around the block.
Really?
And that freaked me out so much.
That's a positive freak out, though.
I guess. And then I had these employees who I barely knew and that I had trained. And I was like, do you know how to explain matcha? Do you know how this and this? Okay. And then I figured if I'm freaking out, they're going to see it. And then they're going to be freaking out. Yeah. So I had to kind of swallow it and be like, are you okay, Gerald? Are you ready?
Yeah. What time did you open? Like 5:30, something like that?
No, we opened at 10 a.m., which was so late.
Yes.
Which was so late. But we opened at 10 a.m. And I remember when I got there at 8 a.m., there was already a line. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I was not expecting this at all.
That's great.
But it was such a crazy, I did not expect that. I expected maybe a couple people coming in. Yeah.
Slow start, soft opening. To them,
talking to every single person. Yep. No.
Yeah.
It was madness. Yeah. I have an actual photo that my facialist took of me because I had to jump in the bar and actually help with the drinks. I was wearing a pink shirt and I had matcha all over. I was just, it was bad. Yeah. It was bad. bad.
Tie-dye.
And then my mother was like, Geraldine, like, as a owner, you should not be dirty. Like, Mom, we needed help. Like, it was just nothing that I had expected.
Yeah.
Versus now, I dress in all black.
Okay.
I don't wear pink when I work.
It's easier.
It is easier.
Yes.
Some people
and if you get spilled on, no one knows.
They can't tell, but with the pink, it's like it's a gorgeous mess.
Yeah. So, all right, let me hit you some business questions. Biggest mistake you made in the first year? After launch, biggest mistake you made?
Biggest mistake. I guess I didn't, even before I launched and during the first couple of months during launching, like I said, I was very quiet. I didn't really connect with neighboring businesses. I really didn't reach out to other people, but I know why I didn't do it. Now, oh my gosh, I can go by any shop and just introduce myself, talk, bring them horchata.
Yeah.
I guess I just was so into my head, and it was because I was hiding all these emotions of doubt and whatnot. But I wish I would have been much more open and could tell myself it's going to be okay, but you need to do this.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think like what could have happened or how much more traffic could I have had if I would have done that. You know, there's always that if.
Yeah.
But I do look at myself and how I started and where I'm at right now. And I really am proud that I've kind of like jumped out of my shell.
For sure.
And been able to now I'm open to podcasts. Now I'm open to talking to people. Come in and sit down, where before I'd be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't know you.
But, you know, it's interesting. So a lot of the listeners can relate to this because whether they got into real estate sales or, you know, became an entrepreneur or whatever, you know, whatever line of business that they're in, you know, it's, first of all, starting anything new, you're nervous, you're in your head, oh my God, I'm not comfortable, I'm at a new office, a new environment, or a new business. But in this case, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't have outreach into your local community, first of all, you're going to offend all your neighbors. Right? Like, hey, who's the new girl that thinks she's too hot shit and won't even come talk to us? Like, there's all those issues. But how did you discover it was a problem, and what did you do to get over it? I
immersed myself with working the bar and just talking to people.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a language situation where I've never, and this goes back to like grade school, I've always hated speaking English. I've never liked it. I would go to detention when I was in high school with the nuns because I would be speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
So here I'm coming into this neighborhood and I don't like speaking English, but I'm opening a business here. It's all English.
Yeah.
And even some customers thought like, oh my God, the owner's so stuck up. The owner's so I would see this. It's like, no, I'm just so shy and I'm so embarrassed to speak English to you. That's why.
Yeah.
So again, I've learned how people will never give me the benefit of the doubt. It's always easy to judge and assume the worst.
Yep.
So I took that full on and I put myself out there to work the register, which I love because that's perfect practice. Talking to someone, hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm very well. Thank you so much for asking. You know, get that flowing, going over to the tables. How's everything? And talking and introducing myself. So that really pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
And it not only helped me, but it also helped everyone else around me to see, oh, we always thought you were like so stuck up, but we didn't know it was because you were shy. They never thought that.
Exactly.
And then I realized it's okay to network. It's okay to put yourself out there. And then I started going to more networking events and putting myself out there and going alone. And hi, nice to meet you. I used to be a little bit shy to say when they would ask me, oh, what do you do? Oh, I own a matcha cafe. What's it called? Holy Matcha. Oh my God. And then I would be shy. Yeah. Now I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So definitely putting myself out there, out of my comfort zone really did help me.
So I know that a lot of my listeners right now, like that's like talking open houses and prospecting for real estate agents. Like if you don't put yourself out there, like you don't make any money. Right? Like, period, end of story.
Well,
you got to talk to people.
Another thing that I live by, you can have the best intentions in the world.
Yeah.
But if you don't put it out there, it's like you don't have any intentions at all, good or bad.
Exactly.
You have to do something about it. Yeah. And if you don't do it, who cares what's in your head or what's in your heart? It's what you put out there that matters.
Bingo.
So
okay,
I learned.
Let's talk marketing for a second. I mean, your branding is fantastic.
Thank you.
Right? Branding is amazing. It's important, right? It's eye-catching.
Yes.
Marketing actually makes the cash register ring. So what worked in terms of marketing? What didn't work in terms of marketing? Networking seems to have worked, but does that drive people to the room? Like, does it get people to show up? Does it get people to buy tea?
What really helped was the Instagram. And it's something that I call a beautiful mistake.
Yeah.
Because I started the Instagram early on, not because this is going to go famous, this is going to go viral. You know, I like this program, so I'm going to use a program that I feel comfortable using. And once I opened, I was wondering, what are people going to think? Maybe are they going to, like, these were my fears the night before. But then when everybody was coming in, taking selfies, taking photos, people wanting to rent out the space for parties, I was like, you like it too. So that really did help me, was presenting an experience, not just an item, not just a service. We all do services, like coffee shops are plagued all over San Diego, but it's also offering the customer an experience. So I caught that early on within the first week. Music selection is very important. Scent is very important. Atmosphere is very important. The lighting is very important. I mean, music is very important. Even everything is very important. It's an experience. That's what sets you apart from your neighbor, from any other person out there with their own business. So then the branding and the marketing, everything is through Instagram. And I always hone down on the branding. And I look at it, it's like, is this easy for me to understand? Is it too busy? Is it too this and this? So I overanalyze everything, over-critique it. When others are like, it's fine, it works. I don't like fine.
Geraldine, though, but you ask good questions, because when you look at a lot of people's marketing, it's way too busy, right? There's not enough white space or pink space, right? It's not clean. They're trying to throw everything at you all at once, and then they wonder why they get no response.
Well, for starters, like, this got launched in November, so I wasn't in this bubble yet. In the beginning, it was just the menu. And I love the in-and-out style, where it says it's easy, it's simple, they focus on a couple items, but they do it tremendously
really well.
Amazing. That's what I wanted. I wanted a very clean, easy to read menu. So everything was the Geraldine way, the way I wanted this. Because I don't have any previous experience, so I was only going by how would I'm thinking as a diva, how do I want to see this? So that's the way I took it, and I was just hoping for everyone to like it. And so luckily it worked.
Did you get some early feedback, the things that they didn't like?
They didn't like that I have dairy-free options. Everybody wants milk. They didn't like that I don't have refined sugar. You know, it's just the market. A couple of things, but no one has ever said that I'm aware of. I mean, people have said it's too pink. But that's the whole point of it.
Why?
Matcha's not.
Is matcha pink?
I think that they're just used to everything being a little bit neutral, which is fine. But I thought, if this is going to be my child, I'm going to dress up my child the way I want my child to look like. So there's a lot of feedback, but the 95% of it is positive. And it fuels me.
I love it. All right, let's go a totally different direction. Did you ever feel like quitting?
No.
Not once?
No.
Not once?
No.
You ever miss payroll?
No.
Okay. How do you handle marketing, finance, legal, leases, HR, payroll? Who does it all?
Me.
How do you do all that? And do you work the counter as well?
Yes. Well, I'm not there right now, but I was there yesterday. I can get really deep into this.
Yes.
I come from, it's all the way I was raised. So my dad has a PhD. He's a doctor, surgeon. My mother is an accountant. She has her MBA. My 3 older brothers are doctors. So I had a lot of pressure. No excuses. So it's, you want something, you figure it out. Doesn't matter if you care about someone, but if you don't put it out there, it doesn't matter if you care about them or not. So I was raised in a very strict culture, very demanding. So an excuse of, oh, I can't take this, or, oh my God, I'm just so stressed and overwhelmed, I can't do this, that. I mean, I would get slapped if I would ever say that. So it's possible. I'm just not lazy.
Well, clearly.
I'm just not lazy. And so I vent. I vent. I complain a little bit.
To who?
But to my husband and to my mother. They are,
What about your employees? Don't you complain to them?
No, it's a different aspect. Sometimes I do.
I'm razzing you, but
no, sometimes I do just to show, because for me it's very important to be authentic and to not have people think that I have it all together, or that I'm always happy. For me, it's very important to show people that, listen, I am very, very stressed. I have all this stuff I'm dealing with, but I'm still pushing through. Because for me, it's not just about having employees, pay them, shut up, do your time, get out of here. It's for me to actually build strong humans. So if someone's going to work for me, they're going to be inspired, and they're going to come in not weak, but so. And then once they leave, they're going to come out with a different perspective of, wow, like, I thought I had it this bad, but I can, be more hustlers, be more pushers.
Yeah, so I can do more.
That to me is very important. So I just don't see them as numbers on my payroll sheet. I see them as people that represent me, people that represent my brand. And so it's very important for me to also connect with them and show them, I'm dealing with this, but hey, I still showed up, we're still killing it, and hope that it inspires them as well.
Yeah.
So that to me is very important.
So what was it like to have baby number 2?
Oh,
because you had a little more time, right?
So it was easy because it wasn't my first rodeo. Yes. I used the same contracting company. I mean, I could have invited them to my wedding.
Better pricing?
Better pricing, better negotiating, always.
Yep.
But different legalities, the inspectors for that building, because it's a LEED certified building, I didn't know it's different from an old building in North Park.
Yeah.
It's still the struggle, but I was used to the bullets. I was used to taking them. During the beginning, everything felt like it was the end of the world. Oh my God, this is free. Over there, it's like, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep tomorrow. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I still felt much more than before. I still felt where a lot of people would judge me in the aspect of, oh, she's just a girl. She looks young and pretty. We just push this on her. And I would push back and be like, no, until the actual owner of the contracting company, who I love and respect very much, he came in and then he was like, so how's your equipment? Because I was getting custom machines made. I was like, it's going well. I just need to finish negotiating a contract. And then he said, and my husband was there, and then he was making fun of me. He's like, oh, so you're not just a hard ass on us. You also negotiate really hard with other people.
Yes, that's good.
And I was like, and I laughed. I was like, come on. I mean, you have to negotiate. Yeah. Come on, you have to negotiate. So I think that I'm here to represent myself. Like I'm here to represent myself, and wherever I put my name on it, I make sure I leave a good mark. But also, I'm also here to inspire other women to not be, maybe bullying is not the right word, but to not feel so bullied like in this male dominant world. Like it's okay to negotiate. And I know the contractor, he has a daughter, young teenage daughter, and I told him, like, wouldn't you want your daughter to negotiate? So once I put it into that perspective, then it makes sense. But again, one thing about business, nothing's personal, it's business. You move on.
Where did you learn that? Like, that's a mature, like, I understand that. That's my mother. Okay.
That's
I love your mom.
My mother was like, when we would go to Nordstrom's, and I remember she'd be like, I'm not going to be holding your hand. I'm not going to put a leash. If you leave my side, I will leave you. Yeah. You figure out how to get home. Yeah. So guess what?
Tough.
I didn't want to figure out how to get home alone, so I would never leave my mother's side.
Yeah.
Period.
Even as a teenager, tweens, 12, 13, we're all pushing back?
No.
Good for you.
I wanted a Barbie,
raised Catholic.
And if my mom would say, no, you don't want it, and I'd look at her, then she'd give me that.
Yeah. You knew it was over.
So yes, but she made me how I am today, like that toughness. And I think that if she wouldn't have been that tough, I would have had to figure out a ride to get home from Nordstrom's.
Yeah. Here's just good, strong mothers. Yeah.
Mexican mothers.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. Biggest business challenge you faced. I'm thinking of something legal, if I read everything correctly.
That's fresh. That one was a fresh one because it was, now throw me any legal challenges and I feel like it's so easy.
Yeah.
But that's the most recent one. My trademark was infringed. Mm-hmm. And so I had to back up my trademark and prove to the government that I own this. Look, I use it for this. I use it for this. I use it for this. So when I found out that these humans had come to my business and I found them on my POS with almost $100 of a purchase, that's where I was just like, screw this. I have to defend what's mine.
They're ripping you off.
It is, So
happens every day in business. Happens every day.
It had never happened to me. So I'm meeting all my most challenges right now in year 3. Mm-hmm. So that's where I just contacted my attorney and I was just like, I need to do something about this and fast. Yeah. And sent a cease and desist letter explaining everything with the trademark information, the numbers and whatnot. They still didn't care. They still continued. Yeah. So that's when I was like, okay, game on. Yeah.
So did they open a physical location or were they just selling a product?
They opened a physical location. So once they came into my business, they opened a physical location 5 months later, which takes time to build. So they basically came into Holy Matcha, did their homework, took it back, copied it, and added my trademark in their menu with a couple menu items. Yeah. and then expected to get away with it in San Diego, 12 miles away.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is absurd, and it's also disrespectful. So I was just like, no, this is not going to go down.
So did you sue him?
Yes.
And?
It's taken care of.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See, I got to tell you, listen, as an entrepreneur, like I tell people, I don't really think you own a business until you have a lawsuit. Because then you realize, like, wait a minute. Like, everything I do really matters. HR matters. People matter, right? Like,
that's everyday things until
every
the
day.
lawsuit.
Yes.
The call on my attorney matters because I don't want to be on the call for more than 5 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Because then I get the legal phone. I'm
cha-ching,
like, what?
cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
So I started screenshotting the times that we'd be on the phone.
Yes.
I mean, and again, I negotiated that. Like, it took you 45 minutes to read 2 sentences on an email.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot with that. And then I went to court. My first time ever being in court in front of a judge.
Yeah.
I was like, again, like a little girl, like, with my hair, I was trying to, do I look like a little girl? Do I look innocent?
Yeah.
Went in there. We defended our case, ended up settling outside of court because the judge thought, this is so stupid and obvious.
Dry. Yeah.
Let's do this outside. But I learned a lot.
Did you pick up a third location?
No.
Yeah.
No. I was like, no, I'll spare you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Ooh, that's painful. Okay, let's go a different direction. How do you now activate your community? Like, I was thinking about this. I was reading about, is it Matcha Mornings?
Matcha Mornings. So
talk about that for a minute.
So the way that started, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to feel comfortable speaking English, and not that I'm embarrassed to own a matcha cafe, but I wanted to feel proud that this is my business, this is my child.
Yeah.
And so I started going to networking events, and these networking events cost $20 to $45 to go in. It's a set time.
Yeah.
This time to this time with these amount of speakers. And I'd be the type of person like, but I want to hear more from this person, or, oh my God, I wish you could stay here longer.
Yeah.
I can afford paying that, luckily. Not that many people can afford that. That's sometimes like people survive paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So let's be real. That's the majority of people. So I thought, something has to happen because I'd love to do that. I don't mind paying, but something has to change. And at that same time, people were asking me a lot of questions about my experience as a business owner, just as a person in San Diego. And then that's when I put 2 and 2 together. And I was just like, okay, all these people want to know about me. And I don't even know why, but I have this opportunity to explain to them. I have this location where I already pay rent regardless.
Yep.
What if I just start a little get together free of charge? People just come in, they can buy a matcha, or they can just sit. Worst thing that they have to do is figure out parking situation.
Yeah.
And just drill me with questions. And I will answer them in front of everybody. And if they have to leave, they have to leave, but I won't have like a set time.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like how I got started. And then I thought, I can only answer so many questions, but I know I'm not the only female in this industry. I know I'm not the only one doing a business. There's other people doing other things. And so that's when I started thinking, I'll still keep this safe space. I'm just going to start bringing in other female entrepreneurs.
Yes,
even
smart.
if you work a desk job, I don't care. Just bring other females, because you are my people. Like, you are the person that comes into my cafe.
Yeah.
So that's when I started having like monthly speakers. And when the first thing every speaker asked me is, okay, what should I say? How long do I have to talk? And I was like, you can talk about whatever the hell you want. If you want to talk for 4 hours, that's on you. If you have to leave in 2 hours, that's on you. I just always urge
15, 20 minutes, whatever you want to do.
I just urge the speaker, keep time to speak. Let people ask you questions.
Yeah.
Let them ask you questions.
Yes.
And so I do that every month, and it started a little community in San Diego, and it's called Matcha Mornings. It's always in the mornings. People can drink matcha, whatever they want, and just come in hungry and just drill the speaker with questions.
How many people show up in a typical Matcha Monday or Matcha Morning, excuse me?
It's like sometimes in the 50s to 70s.
Yeah.
I had to rent chairs now. That's how crazy it is.
Quality problem. But see, like, the question I was asking is like, how do you activate your customers? How do you activate your tribe? And like, I knew that was the answer.
Just connecting with them. I mean, you'd be shocked. You know, as a business owner, I understand, like, I have to go to this meeting. I have this call. I have to go to this podcast afterwards. You know, my brain's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. My employees, my customers, they don't know that. And
they don't care.
They don't care, but they don't know. And it's not fair to them for me to be like, I'm too busy. they will never give me the benefit of the doubt. So I still have to find some chunk of my brain to give some time to them. So I always stop by and I was like, hi, how is everything? What's good? Or I'll tell my manager, hey, please make sure you take good care of them. I have to go. So for me, it's very important the people that come through my doors, because they could have gone through someone else's doors.
Yep.
So I cherish that a lot. I like connecting with people, my regulars. If someone comes in and they said that they've come in for the last year and I didn't know that, well, very nice to meet you. My name is Geraldine. So I really want people to know this isn't just a business. This isn't just like, oh my God, a popular Instagram page. This is me. This is my sacrifice. This is my child.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's interesting. I was in a conversation with some friends recently. We were talking about those of us that did some form of like human service, working at a restaurant. I worked at a grocery store bagging, groceries when I was like 15, right? So when you do something like that, you pick up on like, you've got to be good with people. And there's just so many entrepreneurs and so many business people that never learned maybe that side of it. Like a client of mine she was a bartender in Miami and now she sells homes in New Jersey. And she said, like 80% of my skill came from being a bartender.
Right.
Like, so you came from accounting. So you made that transition.
But I know I love going to bars. So I love bartenders.
Do you bring your horchata with you and say, put vodka in this, or tequila,
this
or
is
whatever?
a 12:30 podcast. That's later. But I know the way I like to be spoken to.
Yes.
And I had this idea, and so it was just, if no one's going to teach me, I'll just teach myself and immerse myself and figure it out. But I think it's very, very important, because my menu model was like in and out, simple but amazing. Yeah. And my customer service, the way I interact with customers is like, come to a bar. Yeah. You don't know what matcha is? Here, try this. Or what do you like? Yeah. Kind of like, forget this menu. What are your taste buds? Are you in the mood for something floral, something spicy? Yeah. That's the way I like talking to people.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Totally different direction. The big question I think a lot of entrepreneurs get, and certainly I see it in the circles of entrepreneurs that I know, we all talk about like, does balance actually exist? Like, is there such a thing? But you're a newlywed. It can be a goal. You got 2 babies, business babies. We're talking about, locations.
I do have a cat. He counts as well.
Yes. Okay. So that's 3 babies then, and 4 because you have a husband,
sometimes.
Right? So how do you keep it all together? Like, what's your time management hack or solution to keep all this stuff going?
So when I have meetings, I have alerts on my phone. Praise for the alerts. Yep. I'm old school. I have an agenda and I write stuff down. Yep. But I've now set a boundary on year 3. I've set a boundary where when I'm home, I'm home. Yeah. I don't give into work any longer unless it's an emergency. Yeah. I'm home.
But it's always an emergency.
That's why they're calling. Emergency, but I've learned how to. Everything felt like an emergency, but it's no longer. I do everything throughout the day to make sure there are no emergencies in the evenings. Yeah. And so far, it's worked. But to be honest, there's no balance. I can tell you, I'll set this. There's always going to be this call, that email. Yep. I've just learned to adapt to this as my life. Yeah. And I think I'm lucky to have married someone that accepts me for this type of life, because I always joke around. I think that if the tables were turned and he were in this situation, I don't know if I would be that supportive. Yeah. So when I look at it in that aspect, I'm so grateful for his support. Sure. He doesn't work on the weekends. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are kind of like my Mondays. Yeah. So I'm always at the shop from open to close. So he never says a single word. And so I see that, and then I give myself a hard time, like, I need to be a wife. I need to make him dinner. I need to do this. So, and he appreciates it. So again, if I didn't have that support system from my parents or from my husband, my life would be much, much tougher. Yeah. But I would still have to figure it out and keep on going.
That last little part, though, is the part that I already really get about you. Like, you would have figured it out regardless.
I'll figure it out regardless.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my blood. That's just how I'm wired. I'll figure it out. But it is nice when you have a support system. But if it was tough, I mean, my husband knew when he proposed to me, he was giving me the ring. Yeah. The first thing I said was, you do know I own a business. Yeah. You do know, like, I'm married to this.
Yes. And you're going to be my second.
He just said, like, I'm all in.
That's awesome.
It was very important for him to understand.
I'm all in.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All in, baby, all in. Okay, so 5 random questions. You ready?
Yes.
First of all, the t-shirt, I'm only famous in my head. What?
Because the defendant's attorney from the lawsuit was going at, Holy Matcha only has 42,000 followers on Instagram. Mind you, those are organic followers. I don't buy followers, but thank you. And San Diego has over 4 million people that live there. Holy Matcha's nothing. The owner, she needs to register for insanity. She's just famous in her head. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, am I allowed to object? I was like, the judge is going to kill me. Yeah. So that's where I was just like, okay. And they also said that my second location was not pink. Yeah. So that's why I also made the shirts pink and said, in my head, I'm famous.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Everyone's a little famous in their head. Let's be real.
Of course. Of course. Do you have a favorite quote?
Whatever it takes.
I love it. Do you read books?
I've read The Alchemist.
Okay, well, that's good. I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite book? I'm always curious.
I love The Alchemist.
Do you have a favorite podcast? I mean, besides mine, besides yours.
I've heard.
Besides Brenda's.
I love Brenda's podcast.
Yes.
I love Brenda's podcast. I need to dwell more of my time into podcast. When I'm in the car, I listen to music. I love music. Music fuels my soul. So if I'm going to a meeting or something, I need to put in good tunes.
Okay. What's your superpower?
I'm Mexican.
I love that.
Or should I say my mother?
Yeah. I think it might be your mother.
I did not leave her side, so I did not walk home from Nordstrom.
Yes. She was your superpower. Okay. Can we drink this?
Absolutely. Give it a good shake.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. The good news is if I spill this on blue, it probably won't matter either.
It should say shake well, yes.
Okay. My last question was, who makes the best horchata?
Oh, me. I'm the only one that makes the horchata.
I don't know. I saw on your Instagram story that there was someone that was making horchata that did not taste like horchata.
No, it was another.
Let's not talk about that company publicly, but
it was another company that's selling at Whole Foods that says horchata. But I checked the ingredients. There's not one single ingredient
that was actually
of an horchata.
Yeah.
I tried it and it tasted. My husband.
You have horchata.
Horchata.
I had like horchata.
It's the horchata. And I take a lot of pride because I make the rice milk, and I hate making this rice milk, but it's my grandmother's recipe, and it's turned out to be one of my best-selling drinks. And
this is awesome.
Now that I'm going to start bottling and selling to stores, completely other monster.
Yeah.
So
this is really good.
I had to start with the horchata.
Yes. Okay, can I steal that one too?
They're both yours.
Good. I'm going to give that one to my wife. This will make her very happy. So is there like caffeine in this?
Yes. 6 grams of pure matcha.
I feel bad for my next meeting. Hey, okay, let's go.
You need to chug. It'll slowly go into your bloodstream.
Okay, good. All right, I like it. Hey, so this has been really fun.
I can keep going.
So tell me.
Let's do 10 questions.
Tell me about what you're doing with UCSD.
I'm an entrepreneur in residence. They saw my Forbes article and they just want me to mentor and give some classes and hold office hours for their MBA program at Grady School of Management. Yeah. And at first, I gave it a second look again. It's like I'm traumatized. Like, am I reading this email correctly? Yeah. You want me? Yeah. Me? Yeah. This shrimp to talk to MBA students? Like, are you...
Yeah, because you're doing what it is that they're trying to learn how to do.
I was
so
just like,
absolutely.
What? Yeah. I was like, are you guys sure? And I was freaking out, like, you guys don't understand. Like, I don't have time to go up here. They're like, no, we want you. We want diversity, because I was like, UCSD does all robotics or pharmaceuticals, but they're getting a lot of people that are going into markets and they want more consumer based. Yeah. They're like, what you're doing here in San Diego is amazing. So it was just, I don't expect that type of recognition. Yeah. And when I do, it humbles me, and it's kind of like I stumbled a little bit. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm just selling and doing something that I love, and I love matcha. Yeah. And I always joke around, but I mean it. Behind that joke is, take away all the pink, take away everything. Give me like a little cardboard box. I don't care. Or on my lap. Give me a bowl, whatever you want, and I will still talk marvelous, beautiful things about this product and matcha. Yeah. And I will still prepare it traditionally. I will always love it. The whole pink fluff Instagram, that's just
branding and storytelling.
Yeah. But I love matcha. Yeah. I love matcha, and it's always crazy when people say like, you should open one in Orange County, you should open one over here. And at first, again, it comes from being self-awareness on my end. At first I'd be like, oh my God, no, like you need to come down here. But somebody supports my business and likes my product so much that they wish they had one over here. Like, Geraldine, don't you understand this? So now I reach out to them. I'm like, thank you so much for saying that. You have no idea how much that means to me. Thank you. And I don't know. I might be able to do it. I don't know. I just like going at my pace.
Yeah. Hashtag I love matcha.
I love matcha.
I got it. Okay, so I'm not sure. I mean, I have like 800 other questions. We could probably go for 5 hours, except your team and my team are both getting dings. So they should follow you, right? At Holy Matcha.
Holy Matcha.
Okay, and if they've got an entrepreneurial question, can they email you?
Yes.
What's your email?
Geraldine at holymatchasd.com.
Love it. SD, which means soon there'll be an OC and an LA and a Phoenix. You just wait. I already know.
The husband's pushing for it. His
if you're
family's
raising
from
capital,
this area.
If you're raising capital, I know some people. We'd all be interested.
Okay. 2020 is a big year.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes. Hey, this has been very fun. Thank you so much. And thank you for the
Absolutely.
matcha. No, the horchata.
Horchata. We cannot cut until we get horchata.
Oh my God. Okay.
We get horchata.
Horchata.
Horchata. There we go.
Yes.
They're going to start buying tacos.
See, if I drink a little tequila before, then my Espanol becomes slightly better.
That's what I thought of doing before I came here, but I was like, no, this is business. I can't. So I had
what do you mean? Tristan and I interviewed my partner of a tequila and bourbon company. Yes, you can. Maybe not good at 12:30 right now, but yes. All right. So thank you. I appreciate it. And Taylor, thank you so much for making this happen. And Geraldine, Brenda is really the cause of this whole thing. So Brenda, thank you. All right, guys. Hey, follow her. Check her out. If you go down to San Diego, you know where to get your matcha. We're out.